Hello, Year 3. So today in our reading session we read a section of Evie in the Jungle where she meets her hero. And that got me thinking, how cool would it be to meet someone that you think is amazing, that's like an idol for you, that you really respect, and that you've always wanted to have the chance to meet? A lot of us have heroes. It could be a celebrity, someone that you've read about, someone you've seen on TV, or even a famous character from a book or a comic book, or even from a film. So for today's writing exercise, I thought we could all do some writing about meeting our heroes. Before I explain the task in detail, I just wanted to make an announcement that if you are in Jade group, you do not need to do this session today, as you will have already done some writing with Mr. Goodall this morning. So you can just skip this video and move on to your next lesson. If you're on Indigo, I suggest you have a go at this writing task because it shouldn't be too difficult for you and it'll be some good practice. Everybody else, you should still be with me. Make sure you have a pen and paper ready, and we're going to go ahead and write down the date and LI before we move on to anything else. So very simple. You have the date up there, 5th of May 2020, short date, Year 3 writing. And the LI, which is to use conjunctions effectively. You should see it right there next to, wait, I can actually move my bubble. Right there. So write that down, pause the video. And if you're still with me, it means that you are ready to move on to our task. So here is the task information. It says, write a passage about who your hero is, why you would like to meet them, and how you would feel if you were to meet them. But that's not all the focus of today's lesson is. The focus is actually using conjunctions, because when we're explaining things, conjunctions are really useful in order for us to write in nice developed sentences. So the challenge is to use conjunction from these lists to help enhance your writing. I've got two mini lists. One of them's in purple, and those are the conjunctions I want the Indigo group to focus on. So I want you to try to use these words in your writing. And you should already know how to use them because we have studied them already this year. So you need to try to use the word and, but, so, or, and because. So try to have a go at using these conjunctions. If you're in the rest of the Year 3 group, then you should try to use those purple conjunctions, but also really be focusing on these slightly trickier conjunctions, which are when, although, if, since, unless, and while. We're going to go into more detail about what conjunctions are and why we use them in tomorrow's grammar lesson. But for today's lesson, all I want you to remember is that conjunctions help us to join two ideas together. Remember that just because you use a conjunction, that doesn't mean that you can have sentences that go on and on and on for lots of lines. Try to limit your use of conjunctions to just one or two maximum per sentence. Otherwise, your sentences are going to get joined together and joined together and joined together until you have a really long sentence on the page that makes me out of breath when I'm reading it. I'm going to give you an example now of how I wrote a passage using conjunctions. And what you'll see in the passage is that the conjunctions are highlighted in red. And you will notice that most of the time I only used one conjunction in each sentence. So this is my passage below me. And I've written about my hero, who's called Stephen Fry. Let me read it out loud. Follow along, please, and look for the words in red, which are conjunctions from the list. My hero is a writer, actor, and presenter, and called Stephen Fry. He is quite famous for being on comedy shows, but he's also very academic. I really started to admire him when I read his book called The Liar. I have found all the books he has written very inspiring, since they demonstrate his love of learning new things. So you'll notice each of my sentences is maximum 1.5 lines long, so it's not too long at all. Now I've explained who he is, I'm going to explain why I would like to meet him. I would like to meet him because I think he is one of the most funny, intelligent and interesting people I can think of. If I could speak to him properly, I would ask him lots of questions about how to be a good writer. Although I would be nervous to meet him, I would also feel very excited. Unless he was rude to me for some reason, I would feel grateful to have met my hero. So you can see I've used a range of conjunctions in different ways, and I've only used one conjunction per sentence, I think in every single sentence. And I haven't used all of the Year 3 list of conjunctions, all of the challenge list, but I've tried to use as many as I can that help my sentences to make sense. So just try to use as many as you can, and make sure to include lots of details about your hero so that I can hear what kind of people you all admire. I look forward to seeing your work, and we'll carry on with conjunctions tomorrow. Pause the video now so you can do your writing, and keep these conjunctions in front of you so you can keep looking at them and finding ways to include them in your passage. Hopefully now you're finished, so don't forget to ask a parent or guardian to take a photo of your work and send it in to me so I can mark it.